Okay, Film Festival International London, Hammersmith, welcome. And look who I've got here with me today. It's Josie de Oliveira. Hello.
Hello.
Welcome.
Thank you. It's really been a pleasure to be here. Everyone is very kind and very attentive, and the festival looks very successful. Congratulations.
We try to do our best. We try to do our best. It's all about the filmmaker at the end of the day. It's all about your journey and what you get out of the week. We just set the scene, and everything else seems to happen. Everything else seems to flow, which is an indication that we're doing something right, I think.
That's right. That's very good.
Liquid Voices. Tell me about Liquid Voices. I'm fascinated.
Well, it is a cinematic opera, and you must think that this is very mysterious, right? In truth, in reality, yes, because the word cinematic opera, I've never seen it, but the format of the film is very different. So I had to think about what is the film. People ask that, right? And it is not a traditional, it's not a conventional, and it's not just an opera documented, not at all. It was really, since I work in a very autoral way, I mean, I write the script, I compose the music, and I direct, I have the whole conception. And I am there also in the technical with everyone. So it becomes something a little bit unusual. And I think that cinematic opera means really that I have conceived this piece for cinema, for a film. Because all my other operas, I have 9. They are in DVDs, they are distributed by Naxos all over the world. I mean, they have been documented in television, etc., but it was documented. That's different. This, no. Well, what is about the theme? It is a fiction that I situated into a factual event.
Okay.
The factual event is the Second World War, and the refugees of the Nazi regime, or the Jewish, that left in the last ship that left the port of Constanta in Romania in 1941. There, it is a real story of the Struma, which was this ship that had 800 Jews on board and stayed stranding and for 2 months, and it was sunk by a torpedo, Russian torpedo. But it's a very complex story there, the real story. But my story is the fiction. Is this diva, this singer, this pianist that embark into this tragic diaspora, which is a trip without return, and she really embarks with her only companion, and her companion is her piano. The piano is really a personage.
Right.
And with the sinking of the ship, there is only one survivor.
Sure.
The survivor is the piano.
Sure.
And the piano is found years later in Turkey by a Arab fisherman.
Okay.
The piano becomes a little bit what we in nowadays call the black box. He tells the story.
Right. Right.
And he brings with him all the ghosts.
Okay.
The spectre of Matilda Segalishko, which is this diva.
Yeah.
And she, as a Sherazade, appears every night to tell her story to this poor fisherman.
Right.
And he, of course, is seduced by this voice and his appearance, and he's madly in love with this spectre of Matilda Segalescu. She's a Jewish woman, and he is an Arab man.
Right.
So there, in a very subtle manner,
Yeah.
I am touching really a very important political view of Palestine, because the destiny of this ship was Palestine. They
Yeah.
never got there.
Wow.
They never got there.
Wow.
And also as a symbol of refugees, of discrimination, persecution, and shipwrecks, and all that we are feeling now,
Yeah.
in our days.
Yeah.
So it underlines the intention also is to show that history repeats itself, and since the Middle Age, we are really doing the same mistakes.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. That's you put a lot of thought into that. You put a lot of thought and a lot of heart,
Yeah.
a lot of soul into that.
Right.
It's your message to the next generation by the sounds of it.
Well, we hope.
We hope. Absolutely, we hope. That,
Yeah.
reflecting on the human condition and past and present,
Right.
I think is very, very important in this generation, in this decade certainly, but for this generation coming up, these the 20 pluses who are dependent on technology and everything else that goes with it for communication,
Yes.
to get back to those points of connection where they reflect on past and present in environments and obviously situations like the war and relationships that took place within the war and communications that took place within the war that make us all relative to each other, which is that we're all human.
Absolutely.
I think it's important that something like this gets heard and gets seen by the
Yeah.
right audience.
And I still believe that only art can save the humanity.
You're absolutely right. Absolutely right. It's where education starts. It's where
Right.
humanity starts.
Yeah.
It's where we all come together,
Yeah.
enjoying something,
Right.
regardless of our backgrounds. But so you've got quite a task now to obviously get this out into the cosmos, into the industry, and get the liquid voices heard. What is your plan of action? What are you looking for from the festival, from the markets, from the what? You wrote it, you directed
Well,
it, you produced it, you hands-on nurtured this baby.
That's a hell of a lot to do. And naturally, I am a little bit still a dreamer, because an artist is a dreamer, otherwise one wouldn't really be an artist.
Of course, but you seem a very disciplined dreamer.
I am.
Yeah.
I'm very disciplined on my work. But all that comes after the child is born,
Yeah,
I have nothing to do anymore with this child.
right.
Now it is her
Right.
life.
Yes.
It is
Yeah,
the
yeah.
film becomes
Exactly.
a life.
Yeah,
So it is for you,
yeah.
producers, to really follow up.
From the festival's perspective,
Right.
it's all about
Exactly.
exposure. And
Exactly.
obviously, you've got the award ceremony coming up, and I'm sure you've got more than a few nominations, which
Yeah.
is fantastic.
Yeah.
What we try to do from a festival perspective is give you all the exposure we can, and give you all the help that we can to get on that first point of finding a home for
Right.
your piece of finished content, which is obviously a market, a buyer. So if somebody is watching this and going, that is a really unique concept, you would be right. Liquid Voices is definitely available for conversation. It's something that I think should be seen by the masses. Very, very, very cultural, heartfelt story, put together by somebody that clearly understands the human nature and the human spirit. So good luck with the award ceremony.
Thank
Fingers
you.
crossed for you.
Yes, thank you.
Jocelyn,
It's
thank
been
you.
a pleasure.
Jocelyn, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.